Day. All right, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about how you let certain people throw you off course. All right, so don't let people throw you off course. You know what you came here for. You know what you must do on a day-to-day basis. Keep on that same course. Stay on that same path. And we're going to talk about how some people are sent in your life on an assignment to throw you off path. Here's how you know, okay? Every time you get around them or every time they call, you feel drained. You feel like I just gave them all my information or all my energy or all my power, okay? Now, certain people, and it could be friends, it could be family members, whatever the case may be, really close, really tight, but it just seems like they need so much from you, whether it's talking, financially or, spiritually. They always need a boost, or they always need like a word from you, or they always need help from you, and they're just pulling from your energy. Now, you might love and care or be really close to this person, but you do notice that they do have to stay in contact with you on a regular basis so that they can get that like kind of boost or hit of energy to continue going. Now, this is why you must recharge every day. And this is why you must get in a quiet space and have some time to yourself, so you can reflect and think back on every person you dealt with or spoke to or interacted with on a regular or daily basis. Okay, this will get you ready for the catapult, because when you're slowly building up momentum, people around you can feel it. There's a shift in the atmosphere, and I think that's what me and my husband was talking about this morning. When people see that your energy is like on a height, or you're coming up off of a really high boost of energy, some people start to gravitate towards you. And they're not necessarily meaning that they don't, hey, Kimmin, it doesn't mean that they don't like you or they don't mean well for you. It just means that they need some of that energy that is flowing off of you. And, I want to say beware, or buyers beware, or person beware. That's not a bad thing. When sometimes, yeah, hang in there, hang in there. You might feel like it's too many people pulling from me. That's when it becomes a burden. But when you are someone who is very magnetic or you have a lot of energy, people taking from your energy and also giving to your energy is not bad. Okay. But like I said, the over influx of something, oh yeah, hang in there, hang in there. You know, I don't want to, throw you off, but sometimes those things happen, in your life, and you have to always be prepared. Just in particular, when things like that happen, expect the unexpected. I literally just made a video about that this morning, because you don't know when you might lose somebody who you usually get your energy from, which in your case it seemed like it would be your dad. Okay. This person you're constantly talking with and interacting with, and now you're unable to, talk to this person that you usually get your boost of energy from, and you're kind of like your grounding like source of energy. Okay. Now, I don't want to go too off a subject, but I'm sorry that happened. Hang in there. Reach out to close friends and family members and see what you can to connect and recharge and get yourself back on, your height or your pinnacle, or, being your best self. Who you came here to be. Make sure that you accomplish that no matter what. Because, like I said, people don't know what you came here for, okay? And that's what I realized when I was younger. So many people started pulling from me. I had a lot of energy on me. Okay, I was very popular in school. I ran track, I did pole vault, had school records. I went to nationals, I went to regionals, I went to states. My name was always on the intercom. So I always had people talking to me, I always had people coming up to me, and I did not know what to say. I did not know how to interact, you know, with other people on a regular basis that are like pulling and pulling and pulling from me. All I knew how to do was perform. Okay. And I want to tell y'all, hey, everybody, y'all, hang in there, hang in there. Um, People will keep pulling from you. Okay. But your assignment, your assignment, what you came here to do, because you don't know, okay, maybe you came here to be a mailman and you need to deliver that mail and be on time. That's going to make somebody's day. All right. Or maybe you came here to be a person like a mechanic to fix cars and you're good at it. Nobody can tell you how to do what you do, but you get it done. And you get it done so quickly, it's almost like it didn't take any effort. Those type of things that you can do, don't take it lightly. That's what I was going to say. All right. So when I come to talk to y'all and I come to speak to y'all and I come to motivate y'all, or I come to tell y'all something that I feel like it will, improve or make your life better as well as my life, I put it out there. I want you to do the same. Okay. And when you go, it might seem weird at first. You might seem like, okay, you know what? Nobody want to hear what I got to say. Nobody knows where I'm coming from. Don't worry about all that. When you say what you need to say, it's going to hit the right person. And I did not realize that before. Because sometimes I would have a small group of friends. Not a whole lot. Like I said, I was popular, but like a small group of friends that I was close to. I had a lot of people that talked to me on a regular basis, which you can probably relate. You got a lot of people that you interact with on a daily basis. And you don't know why they're in your life. But your close-knit friends, you will be able to express or share with them some things about you that will help them. I would say, for example, I was teaching my friend how to braid her own hair. Okay. You don't have to go to the stylist. And I showed her, I taught her, I helped her do her hair, and I got her to the point where she could do it herself as well. All right. It didn't cost me a dime. It didn't cost her a dime. But I know that I helped enrich her. Okay. Now, let's talk about the people that throw you off course. I don't want to get away from that topic because I feel like there's a need for that. It's a really big need for that right now. Okay. You will have people who will watch you. All right. They're not necessarily in your life to like be a friend or a family member or, a spouse. They're just there. They're watching you. And this could be like a coworker, supervisor, manager. They're just always watching you for some odd reason. And they're always thinking there's something about you that I don't necessarily like. And I don't know what it is because you could be performing well. You could be doing well at your job. You just like, okay, what is it? I can definitely tell that every time I speak with them or interact with them, there's like an awkward energy or something that's telling me that, they're repelling me. You know how you just, hey, or yeah, all right, talk to you soon, take care, whatever the case may be. But they always look like, they don't want to be bothered. Okay. Even in their mannerism when they're talking with you or they speaking with you, you just like, okay, what is it? You can't get to the root of it, and it's your spirit. One thing that I told one of my really, really, really close it wasn't a relative, it was a friend of the family. I told her, I said, I try to leave everybody on a good note or leave every situation on a good note unless, that person just really cannot stand me and they leave me no other choice but to say, you know what, take care, have a good life, bye. And she said, it's something about your spirit that repels people. Because when your light shines too bright, they can't get in your space. And so they naturally want to push you away. Okay. So you have to pay attention when you go around certain people and your interaction with them. You know, they get along so good with your friend. They get along so good with your mom or your dad or your, your spouse. But it's something about you they just don't like. They can't, put their finger on it. It's just, I don't like you. Beware of those type of, situations that you come in contact with, y'all. Okay. I just want to say, like, you may be out and about and you always see that person. Like, they pop up in some of the craziest situations. Like, you're out to eat, they're out to eat, but they don't have anybody with them, and you got your whole family with you. You like, who is this? You know exactly who this person is. Why they there on assignment? They don't even speak. You know that they saw you and you saw them. You try to wave, they don't even wave. They're just like, I can't stand you. But they want to try to watch you because hopefully one day you will fall. Hopefully one day, life won't turn out the way that it's turning out. Okay. And you can kind of feel that energy like, okay, why do they want so bad for something bad to happen to you? Listen, what you have on you, and it might not necessarily be like a nice smile or nice hair or nice looks or, nice clothes. They like the fact that, they don't like the fact that people like your personality. They don't like the fact, let's say, for example, on social media, they don't like the fact that you got more likes than them. And they're like, oh, what's so good about her? Or what's so good about him? I don't even like the videos. And you might not even have as many as videos as them. Okay? They just want to find something about you and then try to point it out to other people. They can sneak up in your comments and be like, you know what? How do you know? Are you the authority on this matter? They'll put little sly like comments in there and try to challenge you in front of other people. Those be the worst ones, y'all. You'll try to give a public speech or a little disclaimer, or maybe you might be speaking in public for the first time and they're just like, okay, she's not a professional. I don't know why she's speaking out today. And then they'll start laughing and smirking like you're supposed to join in with it. And you're just like, there was no need for that extra comment. But you got to know when you get those type of comments in your comment section, little trolls and stuff like that, that's saying, you're the worst or you're, whatever they might say. Okay. You got to know that's when you got to push through. That's when you got to push harder. That's when you got to put on the extra, butter and put on the extra, what? Don't lay off the gas. Put it like that. You need to accelerate and push through that even harder. And this is how I know. Because I remember in track, y'all, I came in last every single race. I think was it the 8th grade or something like that. And it was just this one race where I was just like, I really don't feel like running today, but I'm going to run anyway. People were laughing at me and, oh my gosh, she can't run. But I really wanted to run track, to make my dad happy. And because I know that was just like, he used to talk about it all the time. And, I could tell he was passionate about it. And I was just like, okay, maybe I can find some passion in it too. Okay. That was my logic at the time. I was only in the 8th grade. Okay. All right. And so I wasn't even popular at all in the 8th grade. Okay. I didn't have barely any friends or nothing. And I went out there and I ran and I ran and I ran and I ran, y'all. And I got some of the worst, mean, hateful comments that I've ever had in my entire life, y'all. She thinks she's all that. Or just because you pretty don't mean you can run. And this and that. Country K, here she go again. Listen, I did not care. And I'm telling you, that one race, we went out there and they popped that gun off. And I took off. And I was a whole almost lap in front of everybody until the end of the race. Do you know it was a hush in the crowd? It was a hush in the crowd. They, what? Because I had been coming in last all the time. And I had realized that I was doing it because I just really didn't care about track. And I wasn't even trying. And then I was just like, you know what? This race, I'm going to actually try. This race, I'm going to go full throttle. This race, I'm going to show them what I'm all about. And it wasn't even because they was making those bad comments and putting me down. It was because, that was my time. That was my moment. Just like a lot of I would say authors, Dr. Seuss, he said he got turned down 26 times before he even got approved for his first book. So, that's 26 no's, 26 turn downs, 26 times that you had to hear negative comments and negative feedback and negative, you know, challenging, statements that makes you feel like, okay, you know what? Is this what I came here for? I didn't come here to be downgraded. I didn't come here to get a lot of negativity. I came here to inspire other people. And so when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's what you came here for, keep going. I say again, keep going, okay? Because you are going to get negative comments every single time. Y'all, I'm going to tell you how many times my book got denied before it ever got even into the distribution stage, y'all. It could have been 100 times, y'all, in the span of 2 years. Do you know how defeated and broken my spirit was? And I cried, and I cried, and I said, I'm going to give up. I'm done. Then it was just like, no. Because I haven't, stayed up all these nights to write poetry so that I could just read it to myself. I said, if anything, I'm going to read it to my children. If anything, I'm going to make, little cards and give it to, friends and family members, to my husband, things of that nature. Like, I'm not going to give up. Nobody's going to make me, go back to when I wasn't writing and when I wasn't inspiring myself and others. Okay. And so this makes me also think about, not just my poetry, but like my YouTube channel. When I first started off on this journey, y'all, I had like 10 subscribers for the longest amount of time, y'all. I started doing AI videos. It went up to 1,000. I started making, jet videos. It went up to 2,000. I started making helicopter videos and rocket videos. It went up to 4,000. 3,000. I started making fashion videos. You see what I'm saying? Like, I started expanding myself and seeing like there's other things that I'm creative in, that I enjoy, that I'm passionate about, that I want to share with the world. And I moved from, YouTube to TikTok to Facebook. And that's what the clip is from at the beginning of this live. That's from Facebook. And I've only had that channel maybe like 2 months. The first month, no views. I think I might have had 10 followers. I wanted to give up. I got a YouTube coach. I went to the SBA, Small Business Association, and I talked with a mentor. I got a millionaire mentor through Legal Shield. Started reading books. Started sharpening my own skills. And then after that, started following other people. Because there's something about whenever you have something inside of you that you are willing to give back to other people, that it comes back to you. And I did have one person comment, why are you following more people than are following you? And I said, because it doesn't cost a dime. It doesn't cost me one dime to follow another person or subscribe to another person. So, and therefore, it doesn't hurt you to help or support other people on their journey, on their way up. The same thing when I say, for me, I'm saying for you, okay? It doesn't cost you a dime to help out other people unless you want to do it financially. But you don't want to be the person who's blocking somebody else's blessing, is what I'm saying. When you have the means to do so, then do so. All right. So if you saw a homeless person on the street, if you know you don't have change in your pockets, you don't have to. When I drive around, if I see a homeless person on the street and I have extra water bottles in my car a lot, then I'll hand out a water. I always get 2 packs of some type of either sunflower seeds, something of that nature, and I'll give them a pack, okay? And I want to say it didn't cost me a dime to say, hey, here's some water. In all, seriousness, water is free. In all seriousness, air is free. In all seriousness, saying hi or good morning, that's free. How was your day? That's free. I hope your day improves or goes well. That's free as well, okay, y'all? So keep being a part of the solution and not part of the problem. If you notice yourself hating on people or putting people down or, becoming the ops on a regular basis, you might want to kind of like check yourself. I mean that in a good way and a bad way. Because some people, they came here to be opposition. Some people came here to make people's lives worse or say something negative on a regular basis. It makes them feel better when they say, oh, you stupid. And you like, okay, just because I got one thing wrong, all of a sudden I'm stupid all around. Okay? So you have to be aware and ready because those type of comments will throw you off and stop you from being a positive person and turn you into being that opposition and being the ops. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with being the ops now. I have found myself in one point in my life where I was the opposition. I was the person that's just like, you know what, if you're not going to try, don't join the team. Or, and then I started to think to myself, just because I'm captain of my cross country team or captain of my track team does not give me a right to put somebody else down for how they run. And I remember seeing somebody on the team or who wanted to try out and join, which I had ran with my team for at least 3 years. I'm like, we're on trajectory to go to states and regionals. And here we have this person who I felt like at the time, I don't want them to be on the team because I want to be a winner. I thought to myself, do I put them down or do I run with them? And so I was young too at the time. I think I was like 16 years old. I ended up running with this person the whole entire season to make sure she was ready for states and regionals and possibly nationals, y'all. She had never ran before in her life. I remember thinking to myself, I don't want her to join the team. I might even tell coach, don't let her join the team. But then I thought to myself, that's not right. Because I remember back to middle school where I could not run at all. Okay. I didn't want to run. Now that I know how to run, I've been running for so many years. I just know it's like a science to me. It's very easy to run and win. So I taught her pretty much everything I know. And a lot of times people will be like, oh, you don't teach people everything you know because you don't want them to surpass you. But I thought, hey, listen, I got one more year of high school left. And I got to pass the baton. And I'm not really that much of a stingy person. Like I know some points in my life I've been a little bit stingy, but it depends on what it's for. Like I was stingy on letting people borrow my car. Okay. That's what I was stingy on. Okay, y'all. But as far as teaching somebody something that I know and passing it on, I've always been the type of person, let me pass it on. Especially if I know this person is very humble. She was very humble. She's like, I come out here to run. I never ran before. And I watched her run and she was flat-footed. and I could have cried. I remember putting my head down and just kind of, feeling defeated because I'm like, okay, we're not gonna make it to states. And one of our runners don't take it all the way to, the first top three, or at least the first, you know what I'm saying? You got to be in the top 5 to go on to the next level. Yeah, y'all know how it is if y'all ever did sports. You got to be in the top 5 to keep moving on, whatever level you're trying to go up. And I was just watching how she ran. I was like, there's no way we're not going back to states this year and regionals this year with her on the team. I did not give up though, y'all. I knew what my mission and my purpose was. And I did not take lightly being a captain of my cross country team or my track team. If you'd ask anybody who went to high school with me, I did not take that lightly. I used to have everybody out there doing jumping jacks. We would be y'all running from one side of the field back and forth. I don't care if it was 10 or 20 minutes until I saw that this is the way I want you to run. And I don't know why I didn't go into coaching like my dad did, because it became like a passion. But I gave it up because in college, I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to have fun and I'm trying to, explore college. I don't want to worry about running anymore. Even though I was on track for a full scholarship, y'all, for North Carolina A&T. I did not accept that scholarship. Because I was like, I don't want to run track in college. But I think back and I say, like, you know what? I knew what I was here for. And no matter what somebody said or did, I stayed on course. And that's why I came on today. Because I feel like somebody needs that right now. Somebody needs that right now. I don't know who it is. Stay on course. You might have just started a business. I don't care what it is that you just started, or you just feel like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Let me see what other people think. Let me call, some of my family members and see what they think. No, don't call them. Keep reaching within you. That's what I did. Because I could have did that. I could have, talked to all my family about it. Hey, do you think I should run track? No, I didn't talk to nobody about it. I knew within myself, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to go full throttle. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now. Go full steam ahead, like a freight train. So if anybody tries to be the opposition, you gonna knock them over. Hold on. Okay, I thought somebody was outside my door, but no, that's somebody, they doing what they do, collecting the trash out there. So anyways, yeah, so go full throttle. Go full steam ahead. Give the best of your ability. And that's one thing I always teach to my children. Do the best that you can do. Don't look at what everybody else around you is doing. I know I say that especially to my oldest. If she gets in college and she's like, I'm talking about this and talking about that, I say, listen, do the best that you can do. I don't care what they said and they thought about this or thought about that. She's like, well, yeah, the teacher keeps calling on me and saying that I have the best artwork. Listen, let other people hate on you. Let other people say what they're going to say. You cannot stop it. Okay, I don't care how mad you get to at them. I don't care, if you beat them up or you tie them up or, whoop their tail. You're not going to stop people from feeling the way that they feel about you, thinking the way they think about you, or even saying things about you. You're not going to stop it. That's why I'm saying go full throttle. Because even when I was on my highest height and then my peak performance on anything, y'all, on anything, at being a straight A student or being on the track team and, you know what I mean, being not the coach, being the captain. People still said stuff, oh, she's on the captain because her dad is the coach. Oh, she's on the captain because she's pretty. Or she's only the captain because her hair is long. Like some of the dumbest reasons, y'all. Okay? So people would try to downplay what you came here to do, okay? Then when they saw when I went off from, high school from being the captain to the military, and I was a 300 soldier. 300 soldier. Okay. So my PT score was tip top, cream of the crop. I got sergeant within 3 years. There's nothing they could say to me to downplay me at this point. Because my dad was not the coach. My dad was not the, sergeant over me. None of this kind of stuff that they were saying, that the only reason why I had success throughout my life is because of, my dad being the coach, or my hair being long, or for me being pretty, whatever the case may be, or me having light skin. Just some of the dumbest reasons, y'all. Don't let people get in your head and say little things that will throw you off. They'll try to downplay, well, she ain't that smart, or she wouldn't have did good if she didn't have a degree, or she wouldn't have got that job, or, he wouldn't have, got that promotion if he didn't know, or that wasn't his cousin, or, all this kind of stuff. When you know you are qualified to do what you're going to do, don't worry about all that. That's why I said I don't always look into credentials when I'm working with somebody. Because I had a person come up to me and she said, I want to do poetry too. I didn't say, are you Maya Angelou? Are you Oprah Winfrey? Are you Barack Obama? Are you Dwayne Wade? Are you, what I'm saying? Are you Bill Gates? Are you Elon Musk? I mean, I feel like people need to stop that. The only reason why they'll listen to you or talk to you is if you have like so much stuff behind your name. Not like, hey, let me talk to you because you're a person and I'm a person. I mean, I'm going to tell you, you just have people out there like that. I remember going to the park not too long ago with my children and this lady with her other children. She said, so where do you work at? I said, well, currently I'm not working. I'm a stay-at-home mom. She goes, oh. Well, my husband makes all the money, and so we live over here in King's Crossing. Oh, good for you. What do you want me to say? Like, I don't have to work. But it's because my husband makes so much money. And I'm like, okay. Okay, I said, my husband make a lot of money too. She's like, oh, okay, so where did he work? I said, I don't feel like I need to give out all that information to somebody I just met. And so she was like, oh. And then she started looking at my clothes like, okay, it's so hot outside, so why do you have long sleeves on? I said, I wear what I want to wear. When I leave out the house, if I feel like wearing something else, and that's what I feel like, and I'm in the mood to wear that day, that's what I'm going to wear. I don't care who doesn't like it. They're not wearing it. They don't have to wear it. I don't know why people feel like they have to, impress their opinion upon you. I'm like, well, if you like what you wear, then you should be happy. Don't try to control what I wear or what I do. Do you? When I do me, then okay. If you don't like the way I do me, then you got to turn the other way. And people get real mad. Like, listen, you can't control somebody else's life because they came here for something else. It's like, you came here for something, you do it. You're going to have some haters. You're going to have some people that say, hey, I don't think that you can do that. Well, I'd be like, you know what? Well, you thought wrong, because guess what? I'm doing what I do. Well, thank you for thinking of me. That's how you got to do. That's just how you got to do, y'all. Okay? I know that you want to make everybody happy around you. Naturally, it's almost like a human instinct. In order to keep my friends, I'm going to make sure that I, give them a prize or a present every single holiday. I call them every single holiday. I give them a all seasons pass or whatever. If you got a job, you can get free tickets somewhere. Just to maintain their friendship or, be close with somebody in your family. Hold on. Okay, that was an important message right there. Okay, I might have to get off here, y'all. Y'all know people be calling me and texting me. I be trying not to miss people, but sometimes, you got to miss people. But anyways, I don't want to get thrown off because I really want y'all to hear this, okay? I appreciate y'all coming on. I appreciate y'all joining me. I appreciate y'all, stopping by, and loyalty. You know, I'm very big on that. When you're loyal, it's like you almost attract other loyal people to you. Okay. So that's, how I am. I know that my subscribers and the people that come on to watch and listen to me are loyal. I know that's a part of your, characteristics or your personality traits, because I don't necessarily attract people who are disloyal. And I noticed that, people who are disloyal get automatically repelled from me, and I just noticed that, okay? You might have a couple of interactions with people and then boom, they're gone. And that's fine by me too. All right? Because I'm like, oh, okay. I came on this channel to see somebody yelling and screaming. No, I'm not always going to be yelling and screaming. Sometimes I'm going to be calm, cool, and collective because I need to make sure my delivery gets to you in the way that it's meant to be. Okay? And today I want to be a little bit more, humble in my approach to giving this message because I feel like somebody is not doing what they came here to do because of what somebody else said. I don't know who it is that's listening, but you came here to be you. Sometimes it's scary because it's just like I feel like I'm doing something that people that look like me won't do. When I was pole vaulting, I felt like that, y'all. Nobody that looked like me was pole vaulting. Okay? So when I went to jump the first time, I had already set a record. Okay? The first time I ever jumped at a meet. My coach said, you know what? The first time in over, I think like 10 years or something like that, we had somebody jump 7 feet. Hey. I was afraid. I was scared. I was just like, oh my God. I don't know if I can keep doing this. Because I had a lot of naysayers that was talking in my ears. A lot of people like, oh, why are you doing this? You don't have to do this or whatever case may be. People that look like you don't jump. People that look like you don't pole vault. That's what other people do. And y'all know what I'm talking about. But I was kind of like, I was very free spirit. I'm a nomadic spirit type of person. Very free spirited, y'all. So I took that in and I said, you know what? Should I still do this? Should I keep jumping? It wasn't hard. It didn't cost me a dime. And I was already doing what I was doing in track. I said, dang, I'm already the captain of the team. I don't need to do nothing else. But then something inside of me was like, you know what? If they thought the reason why you was doing so well is because of your father, you need to show them something that even he's not doing. Okay? This is my inner talk. I ain't gonna say it was from God and try to be like holier than thou, because no, that's not what happened. That was my inner talk. Like, you know what? I'm gonna keep jumping and I'm gonna see what happens. Coach was like, I bought you a pole vault stick. I want you to watch this video because I know nothing about it. And I want you to go out there and jump. Get some points for the team because, we want to go to regionals and states in track. He was like, I see how you carry the team in cross country. Can you do the same thing for the track team? I was like, I'm only 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't Simone Biles. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see a lot of so-called, like, stars and stuff growing up, okay? It wasn't in track that I saw, I think I did hear of, like, I think it's like Jackie Robinson or something like that. But I'm like, I'm not trying to be here for no civil rights. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to do me in high school. I'm just trying to get through this experience because, what am I here for? I don't know, okay? That's my logic, y'all. It's only 16. I get out there, I watch the video. Video was over. That video was maybe like 10 minutes. Run with the pole vault, count your steps, plant, and then the stick will propel you over. And when you pull back, it will fling you. Y'all, I was scared as I don't know what. I had a lot of people telling me, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Why are you even trying? Laughing at me. Y'all, The list goes on. Okay, the list goes on. I can't even remember all the stuff. It was a whole list of it. But I'm like, I dealt with this before. I dealt with this before. And to me, it was just constructive criticism. It wasn't somebody picking at me. It was just like doubters, the naysayers, they're always going to be there. What do I do? At 16, I was like, I'm going to prove them wrong, because I'm that girl, they going to learn today. They going to learn. I don't never give up. I might quit for a little bit, but I'm coming back, and I'm going to come back 10 times stronger. I just need time to regroup. You know what I mean? I need time to reset. And so I got out there, like I told y'all, on the first jump, I made 7 feet. I broke a record already. So then I had watched the video, where the case may be. My coach had bought me a whole nother pole, because he was like, the school got funding whenever you broke that record. I'm like, what? And then so I go out there, I run, I jump again. And next thing I know, a crowd of people starts coming around me. They're taking pictures. They're, my name was on the intercom. And they kept saying like, okay, she might even make it to the national level. She might even make it to nationals. And I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they talking about? So he was like, all right, my coach was like, you're going for the school record. Y'all, I broke the school record. I just never, I don't want to say I never had that feeling before, because I always had like a good feeling in my heart. Like, certain days, like when I had all my children, when I got married, when I went off to college, when I went off the military, and then when I broke the school record. So those are the times when I had that feeling where it's like, this is the greatest feeling ever, and I don't want this feeling to go away, okay? So I ran, I jumped, and I planted, broke the school record. Now it's time to go to, what was it? I think it was like states or something. And I remember these guys talking on the back of the bus saying like, oh, she thinks she's all that now. She thinks she all of that in a bag of chips just because she made it, this and that. She not even a senior. I don't know how she made it. She not a senior. And I'm just like, Dad, why are y'all hating so bad on me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the deal? Like, all I'm trying to do is make it just like y'all are. I'm not trying to come out here and just be better than nobody. I'm just literally trying to make it through this high school experience. Because it's like, it's good for some people and not good for some people. It's kind of like, I wanted to rush through high school. I didn't want to stay in that mode in my life. Even though I thoroughly enjoyed my high school experience, I wanted to rush through it though. I wanted it to be over with, okay? I was tired of the naysayers. I was tired of trying to fight against the opposition. But it made me a better person, especially as an adult. Because a lot of people that tried to break me, I was unbreakable, because I'd already been broken down so much in high school, So like I said, when I got on that bus and I went off to states and I went off to regionals with the seniors, I was lower classmen. I went off with the seniors and I came back with the title. And they said, guess what? Only 2 people placed. And they say, Dottie, I don't want to say her whole last name, because I don't want y'all to be all in my business. And then they say, Monica, and everybody bust up and started clapping and cheering. It was like, we knew it. And I was like, I came in second place. I didn't come in first place, but you still placed, and you still, took the team, further. We was on the map, y'all, put it like that. So when it came time for my senior year, we was on the map, y'all. Everybody was scared to go against our track team. Because, like, keep in mind, like, I built up a crowd for myself. People was coming to my house to run with me. They was coming to my parents was like, oh my God, this is good. And my dad, he was already the track coach. So then he started his track team, like the summer track team. And then I was captain of the track team on the summer track team. And then I took my team to nationals again, y'all. And so they was like, well, maybe it is because our dad. Well, maybe we don't know. They didn't know, because I still I did the same thing for my summer track team, and then I ran for my dad's track team as well. So y'all, I didn't give up no matter what everybody else was saying. That's what I wanted to get to. Because yes, I can boast on myself and talk about this and that. You're supposed to do that. if you did something good in your life, you're supposed to boast on yourself. You shouldn't be down on yourself like, I'm no good. Why did I come here? Why did I even try? No, you need to be the main person who is behind you in the mirror when you go in the mirror and you know what? I look good today. I don't care if a piece of hair is sticking up more than it's supposed to be sticking up, or you feel like I got a little blemish or something on my face. I don't care. You need to start telling yourself, hey, this is gonna be the best day ever. I'm about to do something I never did before. And go out and do something you never did before. I don't care if it's walking a mile. I don't care if it's reading a book. I don't care if this is your first time going to an international grocery store. Step outside of your comfort zone and see what you came here to do. And I say that because I went to an international store before. And it was my first time tasting seaweed at the Asian market. I did not feel out of place. I felt welcome. I speak a little bit of Korean. Annyeonghaseyo. I know Ajima, Opa. Just a couple of words. But the fact is like, even when people say, oh man, your Korean is bad. I kept speaking it until I could speak to other people in Korean. Okay? I went to the nail shop one time and I say, "Annyeonghaseyo." They say, "Oh my goodness, you speak Korean. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness." They were smiling, trying to give me some free stuff. I said, y'all, you'd be surprised you will make somebody's day. All right? What you came here or who you came here to be. Just be that person. Not like a replica of everybody else around you. Like sometimes you just feel better when you do what everybody else is doing. When you go where everybody else is going, where you drive where everybody else is going, when you eat what everybody else is eating. And it just, to me, I'm like, don't you ever get tired of being exactly like, your mom or your dad or your sister or your cousin or your, what I'm saying? Like, be who you came here to be. You like flowers and you like little, thank you, I appreciate it. Hola, hola, ¿cómo está? If you came here, let's just say if you came here to cook, but you go out there and you start doing cakes and your cakes fall through. But somebody's always telling you got the best collard greens, you got the best macaroni and cheese, you got the best, fried chicken, you got the best whatever. Stay in your lane. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's scary sometimes. Because I thought, nobody likes a two-tone necklace. It's two different colors, y'all. It got copper and silver. I thought that is so ugly. But I like it. People around me are not going to like it. It's a mixture of two different metals, okay? Why am I doing this to myself? But it's like, I really like it. I'm going to wear it. Because you got to do it for you. You got to do it for you. Thank you. You'll be great too. Do stuff for you. I know you're like, oh, I don't want to wear this shirt or that dress and somebody's going to laugh at me. It doesn't necessarily match. It doesn't necessarily go together. Who cares? It's what makes you you and unique. A lot of times when my neighbors come outside, they know it's me because I got my little hat on with the three little, flowers. I might not necessarily be wearing flowers, but they feel comfortable. They're used to my personality. I know, this morning when I went to the store, the whole line let me go in first. I'm like, I'm not even matching today, y'all. Okay, I got beige on with light blue. Okay, but this is what I wanted to wear today. I didn't want to put on makeup. I didn't want to put on a wig. Sometimes you feel like if I don't look like Beyonce, if I don't look like Mariah Carey, I'm not going to make it in this world. Yes, you will. Somebody loves you. Somebody cares for you. Even if it's just you. I tell y'all all the time, you have to move to the beat of your own drum. Even if you're off beat, somebody likes that about you. You'd be surprised. And you're a beautiful personality. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Because I used to have people throw shots at me so much. It was just like a norm. I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point. But I think to myself, I'm just like, I'm just being me. Like, I'm not downing anybody. I don't say threatening words. I don't make people feel like they got to be on a fence or like they about to fight me or something like that. I do the best that I can do on every interaction that I have. Now, say for instance, you met me and I'm in a bad mood and I'm moody. If I see you again, more than likely I say, you know what? The other day I was a little rough around the edges. Or the other day, I was just beside myself. And I try to bring something or try to, shed light on the fact that this is not how I am on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to know me, I'm pleasant to be around. I try to say something to that nature. You like, love doing that, teacher. Yeah, that's funny. Sorry, y'all. That's my sneaky laugh. I got my evil laugh and my sneaky laugh, and I got my good laugh. Y'all want me to do it. Y'all don't want me to do it. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, you might have some days where you're a little bit off, y'all. But for the most part, if you're being you and doing yourself, you will see that you will attract that good energy and that good aura, and also you will attract the people that you need to be around. I'm serious. When I went to my markets for the first time, y'all, I thought, you know what, I'm probably not going to sell anything. I'm probably not going to talk to anybody. I'm probably not going to do well at all. Okay, that was what I was thinking in my mind. I get there, I set up, and y'all, I don't think I did anything right. My layout or my little picnic, what's that thing called? I don't know what it was. The picnic table with the actual the cover that goes over it. Y'all, it was not even the same size as the picnic table. Then I put my poetry out there. And then I put my greeting cards out there. And then I put my poetry book out there. I think I only had 3 poetry books because it was expensive to order them on my own. I was like, if they want to buy some more, I'm going to put my business cards out there. My business cards was all gone. They was going through them like this. So I got the little sign where it's like, buy 1, get 1 free, or buy 10 and buy 9 and get the 10th one free or something like that. And I'm just like hole punching and I'm just like selling stuff and I'm doing, and I look up and I was like, am I really proud of what I did today? And I got some haters even at the markets, y'all. One person, he came up to me, he said, do you have a poem that's religious? And I was like, where did that come from? Like what? What's going on? I said, are you okay? I was like, I write poetry, but it's not necessarily always, for religion. I just write poetry because it comes from my heart. And he was like, well, if you don't have a religious poem, I'm not going to buy a poem from you. And I said, I do have a poem called Heaven. He read it and he put it down and then he walked off. I said, I give him exactly what he wanted. But he just wanted to say something. And he wanted to be rude. And that's okay. I was just like, when you're a strong tower or when you're a tower, it takes a lot to pull you down. And I know you just, people will do that when they see you on your pinnacle. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So that's why you shouldn't run from it. Sometimes you just learn from it. Because sometimes, the people that put you down the most, they become your best followers. Okay, your best customers. I had the one customer that said, you spelled this one word wrong. I was like, so you went through the whole book and proofread the whole thing and found one word wrong and came back to tell me. And then they bought another book and another poem. So I couldn't say nothing. I was just like, oh, thank you. I thought you was trying to, put me down or something. So, and they came out, they was snappy too. Said, I'm in England, so I just love your accent. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, people used to call me Country K when I was little. And it's like, you so country, you so country. So, yeah. But I grew up in the country. I mean, what do I say? Liberty, North Carolina. If y'all ever heard of Liberty, North Carolina, y'all know that's the countryest place ever. That's where I grew up. Okay? I know my bio says Greensboro, but born and raised Liberty, North Carolina. And that's when, oof, y'all throwing me off subject, but I'm gonna go ahead and go off on this little tangent with y'all. Okay, so in Liberty is nothing but dirt roads, y'all. The roads ain't even paved. Okay? You would think you was in a third world country when you go to Liberty, North Carolina, okay? And I remember our house being way out there in the country on the dirt road, and the church was on the dirt road. My friends' houses were on the dirt road. We used to walk to each other's houses and climbing trees. I was a tomboy growing up, and making tree houses, riding bikes, which kids don't do that no more. You got to force them to go outside now. But this is when kids used to go outside. So when I lived in Liberty, a whole group of friends, we all get outside and we would all play until you could barely see yourself in the dark. Okay? Because in the country, it gets so dark because there are no city lights. You got to pay for them if you want them. But like I said, we was on dirt roads back there. So it was pitch dark when it got dark outside, okay? If you ever heard that, if you lived in the country, you know what I mean when I say pitch dark. Okay, you can't see nothing when you go outside. So you better have a flashlight. You might see some raccoons, rabbits, snakes, everything. Everything, okay? Yeah, that's why I used to be Ford tough, okay? Okay, that's how I got so tough for the military, because it wasn't nothing that could scare me after staying in the country, okay? All right, I done seen it all, okay? Everything except for like a bear and like a lion or something. All right, like in person. But I done seen almost everything else. Raccoon, all those little things. Snakes, garden snakes, everything. Rabbits, turkeys, foxes. Yeah. Anyways, I'm off subject. Y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I'm supposed to already be on TikTok. They probably mad at me by now. But they be ready for me to come on TikTok right after I come on YouTube. I'm gonna try to do both of y'all at the same time. Okay? Because I want to talk about how you should not ever, ever give up on you and your focus, what you came here for. And this is gonna be, no, I'm not gonna do a part 1 and 2 because it's something else I wanted to talk to y'all about tomorrow. Okay, it's gonna get live, y'all. It's gonna get a little deep. And my cousin was in the U.S. military. Yes. I salute. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here and end this live. I'm going on TikTok. If y'all want a TikTok on the clock, then I'll see y'all in about 5. And then I'm gonna talk about the same thing. So if you don't want to hear the same thing, then like I said, you gotta do what you gotta do. But until next time, pew, 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 I'm out.